Everybody, what's up? It's me, Batu, and welcome back to episode 4 of our Pokemon Black Plush Lock. Now, it's been a good couple weeks since we actually got to doing this. As you can tell from other posts that we've had recently, we've been dealing a lot with the Crystal Plush Lock and finishing up that and actually doing the movie of that, which if you have not watched it yet, I please hope you guys go and check it out. I highly recommend it. It was a bunch of fun, 2 hours long, which is crazy for the type of content I've done. Today we're going to be carrying on. We're going to be heading over to Nimbasa City to get our 4th gym badge. And it is time to get on out of here. Okay, we're going to head over, and I believe we have to go to the desert area first, so let's get over there. And before we can actually go anywhere into the main desert area, we're actually going to be stopped by Bianca, because she is going to want to do a rival battle. Out of the two, Bianca has definitely been the easiest ones to fight. I was a little scared of her in the beginning whenever we had first started this challenge, because she had 2 Pokemon compared to, I believe we may have 1 at the time. But now that we have some stronger teammates, such as our guy, we are crazy when it comes to fighting. We were able to pretty easily defeat her, and actually going over here to fighting Sharon, we can actually battle him as well. Sharon is a lot scarier because his Pokemon are a lot more advanced and a lot stronger for the most part. However, we are able to defeat him quite easily, I want to say. There's going to be a few complications as we go through. You will definitely see that in a second. So we're going to be sending out Mozart against his Duwat. We really do not have anything that can handle half of his team, which actually becomes the scary part about this fight. We're going to just try to round him and see if they can do any damage. It's not going to do a lot, sadly, but we're going to just try on fighting him, and hopefully we're going to be able to get a critical hit. That critical hit would be very helpful. Except it's a critical hit onto us. So we end up losing Mozart, our last little guy. Our first little dude ends up falling for the first time. I am, gosh, so sad. I don't know who to go out to during this part. Like, everybody on my team is pretty weak against a Duwat. So we're going to go into Goober and hope Goober can at least do something to this guy. I know it's not going to be a lot that he's going to be able to do. Hopefully something can come from it. Fire Punch is our strongest move, and it does not do anything. And we get critical hit again. Duwat, you are doing me so dirty for me being one of your biggest fans. I don't know why you would do that to me. We're just going to have to go to Muppet and hope that we're able to do something to him. And a low sweep is able to get some damage on him. However, Muppet, very scarily, is super low. We're just going to go into Jax to get that Purloin out. And we are able to at least defeat Sharon. Sadly, though, we lose our first 2 members of our team. That is so sad. But with that, we're going to at least have 1 evolution. I pulled out one of my secret weapons, one of my favorite Pokemon from Generation 5, that being Suwaddle, because now we have a brand new Pokemon to add to our team that we actually got recently, that being Swadloon. I recently got the Mochi E-Retreat Swadloon plushie, so that is awesome. And then we're able to get 1 new encounter as well, another recent addition, that being Dwebble. You guys probably saw, if you follow my main channel, a few weeks ago, we got ourselves a Dwebble plushie, and now I can officially add him to my team. And even better, now that we have him, we also have Crustle already, we're able to get on and go crazy. Toph also gets to a better level. At level 25, she is able to evolve into a Boldore, so that is going to be some better power in our position as well. We're also going to get Power Gem, which I am definitely going to take. It's not going to be as useful right now. Hopefully in the future it might be a little bit stronger as she gains more levels, but we haven't really had anybody that we can actually use Power Gem for quite yet. And then as you're seeing right now, we actually find N, and N invites us to come hang out. And we learn some more lore about him. It turns out he is the king of Team Plasma. And I just want you guys to know, I did not know about this until I was a bit into the game, my first time playing. I didn't know that N was the king. I played the game a little bit later than everybody else. A bit before Black and White 2, I believe, came out. It's whenever I first started playing this. So I had no idea that N was the king of Team Plasma. I was also a young kid back then, so I didn't know, definitely. But now we are fighting and he has a pretty scary team, I'm going to be honest. However, Sandile at least was able to get defeated pretty easily. Sigalith is the one that I am mainly terrified about. Sigalith is such a scary Pokemon to battle. And you can kind of tell that because I'm supposed to be destroying it with Toth. However, gosh, that is a lot. And I mean a lot of damage. And I really don't know what to go out to. Everything is just way too weak, in my opinion, to take on a Sigalith. So I'm going to go into Monty. And Monty at least tanks a hit for a little bit. And gosh, this is... man, I am very scared. So we are going to try and get out, but Air Cutter is just too strong. Monty is our third Pokemon down. I am terrified right now because this is 3 deaths. I believe this is more deaths already than we had in Pokemon Crystal. If not, I think it's tied. And that wasn't until like the last gym leader or the second last gym leader. So now we are tied for deaths with Crystal. And we aren't even fighting the 4th gym leader yet. I'm going to go into Dream and hope that he can do at least something. I really don't know. Zen Headbutt, I realized now that Zen Headbutt's not going to be the best, considering that Dream is definitely more of a special attacker than a physical attacker. However, the fear of losing Monty already is just a little too much for me, but it's okay. We at least have Muppet to go crazy, and then with Scraggy, he should be able to clean it up pretty easily with him being a dark type. Monty is definitely one of the biggest crutches we have on our team, so that makes me definitely happy to have him with us. However, things are still going to keep on getting harder and crazier. And we are just going to have to put these little cute guys in our death boxes, sadly. But with death, at least a new life comes, and with that, we are able to find a Trubbish. And easily, actually, so surprisingly, I'm happy about that. My first Ultra Ball I used, we're able to catch Trubbish and add him to our, at least, PC squad. Sadly, I don't have a Garbodor plush, so he's not going to be the best. I also need a Taco Bell. I don't know why I didn't Taco Bell. I kind of like Taco Bell for the most part, so I don't know exactly why I did that. But now it is time to fight Elisa. But before that, I do want to get Dream evolved. I've had that Moonstone since before the 3rd gym leader, so I thought the perfect time to use it would be now. That way, if she needs to take some extra hits, she will definitely be able to. Dream is definitely going to become a big, heavy tank as long as he's able to stay alive. And for the most part, I think we're going to be able to do that, and I'm super excited because I love Musharna, and if I get to use Musharna, I definitely will. So the fact that we get to have one on our team, I will definitely take. And ouch, that hurt very much, but we're going to throw some spikes onto the floor. This is at least going to give us some extra damage to get rid of these Molgas, because if you don't know, if you have a flying type come into spikes, they will take some good damage. If they were fire flying, that would have been better because they would have taken a lot of damage. However, they'll at least take a good amount from being a flying type. Electricity does not really matter for that, so electric types are not really affected. But yeah, you can kind of see that evolution definitely helped Dream when it comes to getting some higher damage percentages out. These Zen Headbutts are for the most part pretty strong, and he's able to tank pretty well a lot of these Volt switches, so I'm very happy. And with that, he's actually able to get the first one down, so that is perfect. Next up, we're going to be having our second Emolga come out, and I was pretty confident with this because I honestly thought that this Emolga was almost dead. I don't believe that it is, looking back at it. I believe she should be for the most part. No, she actually is. Okay, I'm thinking about a whole different area, I think, during this fight, so definitely be prepared for that. Hyper Potion, that's probably what I'm thinking of whenever I'm going back into this fight. But a Flame Charge, for the most part, does a big chunk of damage. And then that Volt Switch, once again, that's going to be very annoying because it's going to be going into Zebstrika. And Zebstrika is very, very scary, but it's okay. We're going to have Volt Switch come through again. Very annoying once again. However, Jax being paralyzed, he is not going to be able to take advantage. He can't handle any other moves. Jax is basically out of this fight for the rest of the battle. So we're going to have to make do and go into Johnny Cage. And Johnny C is going to at least have a better chance than probably Pig Knight would have. There's just not a lot of stuff he can do against a flying type. That's the hard part with having Johnny C. Is we can't do too much. However, I know that she's probably going to go to Aerial Ways, so I'm going to switch out into Toth. Yep, And just like that, I knew Aerial Ace was going to be coming, so I decided to Power Gem again and hopefully get some good damage. That Oran Berry came in clutch, getting some more health for my little Toth, and we at least get some good chunk of damage on to Substrika. I'm going to have to switch over to Johnny C though, and this is the part that's going to be very helpful for us because Volt Switch is not going to be able to do too much to us because it can affect us because we're ground type, and with that we are able to dig. We were able to survive a flame charge, which is perfect. Dig gets rid of Zebstrika, and now we are able to move on to the final Pokemon, being that very annoying Amalga. I just know this Amalga is the same one that we started with against in the beginning. This is the part that I was thinking about earlier where I said they were at full health. That is very annoying. But we are going to go into Muppet and see exactly what he can do. I had to make sure that with counter, it's exactly what I was thinking of, because I think there's another one that's similar, but only with special type moves. But I haven't had any effectiveness actually with counter, so that's the annoying part. Aerial Ace hits me for a lot, but the good news is counter hits it for double. So with that, we were able to defeat Elisa. She is, in all of my opinion, probably either the first or second hardest gym leaders when it comes to this game. So the fact that we were able to get rid of her and have all of them survive, even though we lost 3 this episode, oh, man, it is something else. But at least they survived the battle. That's going to be it for me, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. Next episode, we'll be moving on to battling Clay and going to possibly the most well-known Pokemon theme song for a city. That's how I'm going to leave it at. I'll talk to you guys later.